Yes.
What is going on, Dan? Look at the weather, and I've got a tench. And it ripped off. I don't even understand what's going on. Thanks for choosing to watch the video. We're out tench fishing. First proper tench session of the year. I've been waiting quite patiently for the first tench session. We had the bank holiday, which it actually came at a time where travel restrictions were reduced as well. They were relaxed, which those two things put together meant that the banks were very, very busy. I avoided them. I decided to stay at home, do a load of DIY, build up some brownie points, and wait until the banks had calmed down a bit before I came out. So it's early April, just after that bank holiday. Unfortunately, we've now been hit with an Arctic blast, they're calling it, where it's dropping below zero every night. It is cold today, you know, it's not going to get into double digits. It is going to be tricky, you know, I can tell already it's going to be hard. But if we don't get a fish, then at least I can sort of like show you some of the rigs that I'll be using for early spring tench. Hopefully they'll produce a fish. If they don't, then I'm just going to chill out and enjoy being out on the bank. This is my left-hand rod. It's the combi feeder heli rig, and of course with this I'm wanting to try and get some bait out into the water initially. So I'm literally recasting it every 10 minutes. I'm placing, look, can you see I'm placing the feeder by this tree rather than using distant sticks. I'm now going to walk back along the bank and I'm consistently hitting the same spot. By now, bringing my rod tip in line with the back of my chair and clipping up. So it saves me wrapping around sticks. Got a nice length of bank here. I don't really want to mark up the line with elastic or whatever. And there you are. So I've been recasting that every 10 minutes for the first hour. So after the first hour, what I'm going to do, I'm going to start casting it every 20 minutes maybe. So double it and then keep extending it. I'm going to quickly take you through my setup. I've got a trilogy rod. That comes with 3 top sections. I've got the 1.5 section at the top, 4,000 size axis reel. I've got a 10-pound line. That's coming down to a heli rig. So you can see I've got the heli kit on there. Off of that, I've got an 8-pound hook link that's about 4 inches long, and size 10 hook with the worm kebab rig. I'm using the quick stops just to help me keep those worms on the hair. At the bottom, I've got a combi feeder. I've removed the ends, fishing it open, and I'm getting red maggots. I'm putting those in there and I'm plugging it with some krill ground bait that's got 2mm Sonobait krill pellets in there. So that's the worm kebab rig that I'm using on my left-hand rod. And cast it nice and smooth. Make sure you hit the clip. There we go. And that is hitting the same spot every time, which is important, really, really important when you're doing this style of feeder fishing. You've got to build up the swim. So like I say, been here an hour, casting every 10 minutes, building up the swim. After an hour, I'm gonna then cast every 20 minutes, and then maybe every half hour. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about the lake. It's 2 acres in size and it's got a reasonable head of tench. I've managed fairly consistent bites in the past, but never really fished it until mid-May. I've not fished it for quite a few months now, and it's really nice to be back. As I mentioned, I'm fishing the heli rig with the worm kebab on my left-hand rod. I'm fishing my right-hand rod really quite differently to that, so I'll take you through that now. So on this one I'm fishing completely differently, more of a roving rig this is, just moving it every half hour to try and find some fish. 10-pound main line, coming down to a flatbed feeder, that's got a quick chain swivel there, a small sleeve, short 8-pound smoke screen hook length, a penetrator size 10 hook, and I've got the pellet O's on there, 2 pellet O's on the hair. I've got spicy sausage pellets that I scalded last night, and this morning they're really nice and soft. And what I can do, I can just put those, press those into the flatbed feeder, and then that's just enough attraction near the hook for these early spring tench. You know, I'm not trying to draw them in with a huge amount of bait on this rod, just enough to try and nick a bite. And there you are, you might have seen that in my previous tench videos. We've got scalded pellets that are just pressed into the flatbed feeder. And like I say, that one I'm moving every half an hour just to try and locate some fish. This is the roving rod. See a fish just roll to my left. Don't know if it was a tench, but I saw it roll to my left, so I've taken it off the rest and just put the rod on the deck, just on the off chance that it goes. I'll leave it there for like, I don't know, 20 minutes or so, see if it goes. Right, it's not looking hopeful. There's a few on, about 3 or 4 other anglers. I haven't seen anyone have anything. It's quite a deep lake, so even when the sun does come out and it does warm up, this particular lake might take a little while to jump into action. So getting nothing on that pellet rig, so I'm going to try something a bit different. I've still got pressed pellets on the flatbed feeder, but what I've actually put on now is a different rig. It's the same type of hook length, but I've got popped up corn that's just been tipped off with some maggots, and that is critically balanced. That is just, it's got a little weight here, a little tungsten weight, and that will fish just popped up off the bottom. I just think that something maybe a little bit more blatant might get me the bite that I'm after. So that's what I'm going to try now. It's popped up corn with a couple of maggots on top of it. I've got to try and balance it right. And we're going to try that on the pellet rod. I'm trying my best. I'm switching up the rigs quite regularly. I'm trying different things. I'm keeping one on a baited spot, and then the other one I'm moving around to see if I can locate where these fish are held up, but it's not happening at the moment. So I keep switching up these rigs. What I'm going to try now is, and this is the good thing about the combi, you look, I'm now putting the ends on the feeder, so I'm not fishing it open anymore. I'm going to fish it closed and just with maggots. See if that helps us at all. I think it, just out that sort of way. I've moved it off the baited spot as well now. This one, I'm just going to fish it. Just going to fish it moving around like the other one, I think. Got to find these fish. Right, this one I'm going to experiment as well. I'm going to fish a little pop-up off of it. See if that does anything. Wait, corn now. I've tried everything. Come on. Let's get a bit of that out there. We're just going to put this yellow pop-up just on top of it. Much closer in than I've been fishing as well. Getting desperate now, trying all sorts. Okay, I'm packing the camera equipment away. It feels like it's quite unlikely, to be honest, that we're going to get a fish on this session. I mean, it's not even 4 o'clock in the afternoon, so we've got a few hours left. But if I don't speak to you again, you can assume that I've not managed to get a fish. It is cold and it feels like it's getting colder, and it's not feeling much like tench season at the moment. It might be that we need to give it another week or two, I think. Right, I moved up the other end of the lake. I've just got the rods on the floor, just see if there's anything happening up here. Cast them not too far out, a few rod lengths each one. On the left, put a yellow pop up and a handful of sweet corn. See if that does anything. On the right, red maggots in the combi feeder. I'll give it half an hour here, see what happens. Just got to take on the heli rig, hoping it's a tench. Shaking its head. Come on, be a tench. Don't want it to go in there. Yes, it is a tench. Oh. Jake, you won't believe this. Just chatted to Jake at Sonibaits, saying I hadn't had a touch, and it ripped off. Oh, there's quite a lot of wind in the edge here. Please stay on. Oh. Saw the net, didn't like it. Oh. Come on, come on, come on. Bring him up, bring him up. Looks like quite a nice one. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Come on, get in there. Yes. Oh, yes. Oh, magic. Well, the first proper tent session of the year, and I didn't think this was going to happen. I really didn't. It's been so cold, hence the woolly hat, the Arctic blast, but I've waited and I've waited and I've seen people go home, but I've stuck it out and check him out. Look at that. Isn't that a stunning tench? I've weighed it, it's just over 6. Really, really pleased with that. That's on that heli rig, the worm kebab, krill and squid blocked in the feeder with some maggots, and we got our first proper tench of the year. Over the moon with that. Gonna get him back. Awesome. As you can probably see, it's very much last knock-ins. I can't believe I had that tench right at the end. You know, I've seen people come and go from here today. There's only me and another bloke left, and you know, there's probably been half a dozen or so people come and have a go, and I don't blame them for giving up, to be honest. I really had given up all hope of getting a bite. It's freezing cold. I was literally just about to leave myself and the rod's ripped off. So, how's your luck? So it was a heli rig that worked in the end, not surprisingly really. I think natural's early season is a really good way to go before the nuisance fish wake up. So it was the heli kit and a combi feeder, you know, the worm kebab rig that I showed you. In the feeder I had krill and squid stuffed in there, krill and squid ground bait by Sonny Baits with some red maggots as well. And that's the one that did the fish. And I thought it would be that one that would go if either of them did, because I got pellets on the other, as I showed you earlier. So yeah, really, really chuffed. It feels like it can only get better as the weather improves. I didn't think I'd be getting one. So yeah, over the moon. So I was really happy just to get a bite on that session. It's a few days later now, I'm back at the lake. This time I've brought Dan with me, and if you thought that the weather conditions were bad on that last trip, check this out. Look, it is snowing really bad, and Dan, what have you just had?
A snow tent.
A snow tent.
A proper snow tent.
PB snow tent. Really chuffed for Dan. He managed to get that stunning tench on a flatbed feeder with the krill and squid, but this time he was fishing popped up red maggots, bright little red maggots. And right at the end of the session, we were just about to pack the rods away when this happened.
Nick, what's going on, mate?
What is going on?
I don't know.
Each time it snows, we hook a fish.
It's another snow tent, Nick.
I hope it is a snow tent.
It's definitely a snow tent, I can tell.
What is it? Every time it snows, we get a tench. Please be a tench. It is a snow tench, I think. Yes, it is a tench, Dan. Can you pass us a net? It's another good one as well. Guys.
This is ridiculous, Nick. This is ridiculous.
Do you? I don't even
known anything like
I don't even understand what's going on.
You can't analyse this. You can't analyse this.
What is going on with this weather? This happened with your fish as well.
This is exactly what happened.
This is exactly what happened with yours.
Yeah.
Isn't this the most weirdest thing?
I've never known anything like it.
If I can get this in, this will be a great
It's turned into a good day.
tench session. What is going on, Dan? I've got a tench on.
A snow tent.
Look at the weather, and I've got a tench on. Look at the bend. Come on, the trilogy.
There he is.
There he is, and he looks good and down. Let's see if I, no, he's going to go a couple of times. You know what they're like. He's burrowing hard. We've got no business catching them in this weather, have we?
And look at that.
Look at the old drag.
Stop.
4 seasons in a day.
Absolutely nuts.
Dan's bust his PB. I've got a nice run on.
That is a nice one.
Oh, yes.
Look at that. That's a beaut.
I was going to say to you, you know what rig it is? You can see it in his mouth.
Is that
Yeah.
pellet?
Yeah, it's the popped up corn rig. You know the one that I showed you? With maggots on the top. I think we've got him.
Right on the side there, don't you see?
Yeah. Wait. Yeah, now. Yes, Dan. This is how we roll. So I've come back a few days later and I've caught a snow tench. It was snowing when we hooked this. Dan's had a PB today, and now just before going home for a Chinese, I've managed to get this one. We've had 4 seasons today, I reckon. We've had snow, sunshine, and now I've ended with this cracking tench. I'm going to put him back. What a fantastic session. So on this session, we got some success. We were fishing bright little popped up rigs. So popped up fake maggots, popped up fake corn topped with real maggots, but it seemed like small bait items that were slightly popped up off the bottom, and they managed to get us a few bites in these really, really challenging conditions. Also, I think on the first session, I was almost too proactive. I was too active. I think once you've got a little bit of bait out there, and I think it is important to, cast the feeder out and get at least, 4 or 5 feeders worth of bait out there. But then once you have, I think you really are best off practicing a bit of patience and sitting on your hands. On the first session, I was probably recasting every 45 minutes or so. In the second session there with Dan, we were a little bit more patient and we were letting the rod sit out there for at least an hour, maybe 2 hours, and I think that helped. I think when you're in winter or spring, the fish aren't moving as quickly, they've slowed right down, and I just think you need to give them a bit of a chance to actually come across your rigs. I'm looking forward to warmer weather conditions and hopefully more consistent catches of tench very soon. If you've not watched my other tench fishing videos, those should be on screen now. Thanks as always for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.